I'm about to spend the next 24 hours right here under this motorway bridge. I've got a tent, I've got my dog, I've even got a sleeping bag, and I brought my fishing rod. Stay tuned until the end of the video to find out if I actually catch anything. Check this little snake out. Why, the bite on that rod. Where are the fish? Fish! And there we are, home for the night. Fish. Oh, I just had a fish on. This is the Wells catfish. Ah! So I'm used to camping in the woods, sleeping in shelters that are made out of leaves, bark and twigs, or maybe even moss. But today I'm doing something different. I'm sleeping under a bridge, under this motorway bridge. If all goes to plan, I'm gonna catch some fish, I'm gonna cook some food, and I'm gonna sleep right here. And the first thing I need to do is put this fishing rod together, put a bait on it and cast it out. Oh yeah. Okay, here's my bait. Now let's try and catch a fish. That's where I'm camping tonight. Come on bait, you can do it. I've just realised that this is bent and that line should actually be going through it. This looks really good. There's got to be a fish in here. Hey, hello. Hey. Hey, yeah. Okay, what I'm going to do is put this float on. I've got this really old broken float. So what I'm doing now is I'm just changing the way I'm fishing. This isn't normally how you would do it, but it's what I have with me today. So I'm going to use this broken float and this small weight attached to this line with the fish on it. And the plan is to cast in the bait and let it just float down. Oh yeah, come on. So that wasn't working too well. I'm going to change my tactics. I'm going to put a bait on the bottom. So I'll cast my bait out just there, and when I get a bite, it'll pull the line. As the line pulls, it will then make a noise on here. And as soon as I hear that screaming noise, I'm gonna run over and strike into a fish. Fingers crossed. So while I'm waiting for a bite on this rod, I've rigged up another rod. I've got a small weight there with a worm on it. I'm going to cast it out just here. Fish. Oh, I've got a small fish on. Got a really small fish. Oh, tiny little chub right there. Sorry mate, too small. And this sheet, which normally goes over the top of the tent, will now become my pillow. And there we are, home for the night. The reason why I've not put the sheet over the top of the tent is because, well, there's a motorway bridge there. I'm going to be covered from any rain tonight. Therefore, I'll just be staying in there warm tonight with Amber. And if anyone's wondering about the roundhouse I've been recently building, well, I'm still doing it. I've just decided to do a few other videos in the meantime because it's taken such a long time to thatch the roof. So I've just put the air mattress in and I've now got my sleeping bag, and I'll tell you what, I'm not used to so much noise. When I'm out camping, I like to sleep in places like the Viking house, the moss roof shell, the log cabin, or even that house I built with Mike, the roundhouse with mud walls and a thatched roof. But tonight, I really am not sure if I'm going to get much sleep. Hey? And neither's Amber. Hey, we're gonna see, we're gonna try it, eh? Yeah, honestly, I'm not used to this sort of stealth urban camping. Hey, neither are you, are you? Right. Yeah. Now she's happy. Hey, now you're happy, aren't you? So this must be life for some people, camping under a bridge. I don't know if they have a fishing rod or gas cooker and pots and pans, but yeah, the sad reality is that there are a lot of people that live under bridges. And here we are, burger cooked under the bridge. Beef burger with cheese and bacon and all the good stuff. Wow. So normally I'm all about cooking good in the woods, but today it's about cooking good under the bridge. And by the way, these are available on the bushcrafttools.com website. If anyone's wondering, then I have just fed my dog. But being a Labrador, they always want more, don't you? No, you can't have this. You've had your food. It's now my turn to eat. Oh, that was a really good burger. Right, let's check out a bit of this graffiti. Heavy. What's that then? That's the letter P. What's that, G? PG? What do you think? So it's been about 2 hours since I had a bit of food. I've had no fish at all. I've got 2 fishing rods, one up there, but yeah, no bites. Check out all these little fish. There's hundreds of them. Lots of fish, but they're all too small. I'm after a bigger fish. So I'm currently in France and I'm about to meet up with a fellow fisherman. He's also a YouTuber. We're about to go out and if all goes to plan, we're about to catch a monster of a fish.
How are you?
Good man, how are you?
Very good.
This is Thibault and we're about to go fishing. So when it comes to rods, we have 2 rods on the boat. The live bait is over there in that net, which we'll be transferring to that bucket. And then we'll be departing on a little adventure and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get a catfish. So this is the rig we'll be using. We'll be using a rod with a giant float on it. And then there's 2 large hooks, which are just below a small weight. And that weight holds the bait fish down a few meters below the surface. And the fish finder will show us if the fish are on the bottom or even in the area. Then when we start clonking, that wooden thing there, that is something, again, we'll talk about that slightly later on, but that's called a clonk. And what you do is you clonk it into the water, but it seems to track the catfish all the way from the bottom up, which you can also see happening on the sonar device. So we've motored out to the middle of the river and we have to be a bit quiet here. On the sonar, you can see it says 5.2 meters. Right, well, let's start fishing. So we've got our bait fish on there and it's still alive. I'm gonna send it all the way down. So I've released the bail arm, I'm gonna let go of the line, send it all the way down to the bottom. And it'll just be a matter of waiting. So what we're doing here is we're clonking away with the wooden tool, and that makes a sort of noise that catfish are actually attracted to. So we're looking for the sonar to look for a catfish rising up from the riverbed in order to look for our bait, which is right there. There's a catfish on the sonar. Whoa. Boys and girls, we got a fish on right here. The float went down. Ugh. And we're fighting this catfish. Well, we think it's a catfish. It can only be a catfish. And there it is. Look at it. Oh, got to make sure it stays away from the boat, doesn't puncture it. It's the same as last night. Yes.
Yeah.
And there it is. Damn. Yes, our first catfish on the boat. And there we are, we're in France. We've just caught a catfish. This is the Wells catfish. These are actually invasive, but yeah, we've caught this on a live bait. It's been on the back of a boat, on a float. We've been watching the fish finder, and we've seen these fish rising and descending. Check this little snake out. I think it's an adder, a little adder.
Open, open. Vas-y, oh, nice. Allez. Allez.
So guys, this is the second catfish we've caught. We've been using live bait to catch these. These are known as Wells catfish, and they're an incredible fish to catch. They grow to a huge, huge size. Have a look at that. Right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna give him a little kiss. I'm gonna put him back. Ah. Legend. So we've made it back to shore after a few hours of fishing. We didn't manage to get the monster we were after, but at least we did get to hook into a few little catfish. So fishing this evening hasn't been very productive. I'm going to try again tomorrow morning, hopefully get a few more fish. Good night. Check out the size of this plane. That was huge. Well, good morning. How did I sleep? Well, it wasn't actually too bad. It was quite noisy. It wasn't too cold either because I've got a good sleeping bag. But I've just thought I'll try this. I've made a cup of tea, I've packed my things away, and there's a nice little deep hole right here on the corner that I'm hoping might have a nice pike. What I'm really worried about fishing here is trying to land the fish. I've got my fishing net, but I'll have to climb down there to land the fish. It might be a bit tricky, but fingers crossed we'll get a fish. That's over there. Bang! Need a big fish to come and take it. Come on, where are these fish? Good girl. Got some weed attached to it. Nope. Let's keep moving. Where are the fish? There's no fish. Hey Amber, where are the fish? Oh, I had a bite on that rod. Nothing at all. Oh, I just had a fish on. Let's try that again. Hey, where are these fish? This is unreal. Fish. Got it. Oh. Got a fish. Oh, he's come off. He's come off, he's come off. Oh. Damn. He's come off. Try that again. Ah! Like kingfisher. Right, well folks, that is it for this video. That's the first time I've ever camped under a motorway bridge. It was quite loud, but it wasn't actually too bad. What was a shame was that I didn't catch any fish last night. I was hoping to catch a big pike on the dead baits, but it just didn't happen. However, that food was damn tasty. What I didn't tell you was that Amber ate the other burger, which I was gonna cook later on. She ate it and I was a bit annoyed about it, but I didn't mention it. Anyway, I'm over it. If you want to see me camping anywhere else like this, somewhere random, let me know where in the comments. See you next week. Goodbye.